All right, let's talk about taking control of your money. For real. We're going to break down a budgeting method that's all about making you the boss of every single dollar you earn. Let's get right into it.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about a problem I'm pretty sure we've all felt. Then we'll look at two totally different ways to budget. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of the zero-based method, see how it's a secret weapon for getting out of debt, and finish up with why this is really all about a change in mindset.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about the vanishing paycheck. This is the whole reason we're even having this conversation. You know that feeling, right? You look at your bank account and just think, where did it all go?
I mean, seriously, has this happened to you? The money drops into your account, you pay some bills, buy some stuff, and before you know it, poof, it's gone. It's such a common and honestly frustrating cycle to be stuck in.
And listen, if that sounds familiar, you are so not alone. That feeling that you've lost control, like your money is just doing its own thing, that's the exact problem we're going to tackle today. But to find the right fix, you got to know your options.
So if the problem is feeling like our money is out of our hands, what's the answer? Well, to figure that out, let's look at two really different ways of thinking about budgeting.
First up, you've probably heard of the 50-30-20 rule. It's pretty popular. The idea is you split your after-tax income into 3 buckets, 50% for your needs, rent, food, 30% for your wants, and 20% for savings. It's straightforward, it gives you some guardrails, but it's pretty broad.
And then you've got zero-based budgeting. The whole thing boils down to a super simple formula. Your income minus your expenses equals 0. Now, this does not mean you have $0 left. It just means that every single dollar that comes in gets a job to do. Every one.
And hey, this isn't some new fad. The idea's been around since the 70s. The philosophy is what makes it stick. You're making a plan for your money before you even start spending it. It's about being proactive, not reactive.
And this is where you can really see the difference. The 50-30-20 rule is kind of passive. You set it and forget it. Zero-based budgeting, it's active. It's all about your goals. It's not stuck on rigid percentages. It changes with your life because you make a new plan every month. And check out this part about debt. With 50-30-20, minimum payments just get lumped in with your needs. But with zero-based, you can decide to really attack your debt. It forces you to be aware of every dollar in a way that percentage rules just don't.
Okay, so that active approach sounds good, right? But how does it actually work? Let's get into the nuts and bolts. Here's your 5-step guide to actually making a zero-based budget.
Hold on, before you do anything, you need to know your priorities. A really solid way to think about it is this. Start with any giving, then pay yourself by putting money towards savings. Then you cover what's called the 4 walls. These are your absolute essentials: food, utilities, shelter, and transportation. It's like building the foundation and walls of your house before you worry about the furniture.
Okay, here's the process. Step 1, list all the money you have coming in this month. Step 2, list out everything you plan to spend money on, and I mean everything, from rent to your morning coffee. Now, step 3 is where the magic happens. You keep subtracting expenses from your income until the number hits 0. If there's money left over, you give it a job. Step 4, you track what you spend all month long to make sure you're sticking to the plan. And finally, and this is maybe the most important part, you do it all over again next month. It's a fresh start every time.
Oh, and a quick but super important tip. You might be thinking, well, my income changes every month. If that's you, here's what you do. Look back at the last few months and use your lowest income month as your starting point for your budget. That way, you know your basic needs are always covered. Any money you make on top of that, that's extra fuel for your financial goals.
So, you've got the plan. But a plan needs a purpose, right? Let's talk about how this whole thing becomes a crazy powerful tool for a goal so many of us have: kicking debt to the curb. Here's something really cool that happens. When you force yourself to account for every dollar, you start finding money you didn't even know you had. It's in the subscriptions you forgot about or the lunches out you didn't really need. And that extra money, it's not for random spending anymore. It gets a new, much more powerful job, supercharging your debt payoff. So what do you do with that extra cash? You can unleash it with 2 really popular strategies. There's the snowball method. You throw all your extra money at your smallest debt first. You knock it out, get a quick win, and that momentum builds. Then there's the avalanche method. You target the debt with the highest interest rate. This one is pure math. It saves you the most money over time. Either way, you're telling your money exactly what to attack.
But let's be real, life happens. Your debt payoff plan needs a defense shield. And this quote says it perfectly. A surprise car repair can totally derail you if you have no savings, but with even a small emergency fund, it's not a crisis, it's just an inconvenience. That's why building that little buffer is so crucial, and your budget is the tool that helps you do it.
Let's bring this all together, because I hope you're seeing by now that this is about so much more than just numbers on a piece of paper. It's about changing your entire relationship with money.
And let me be absolutely clear. Income minus expenses equals 0 doesn't mean your bank account is empty at the end of the month. No way. It means you had an intentional, detailed plan for every single dollar that came in. You went from just reacting to what happens to being a strategist.
The first massive change is just awareness. When you track everything, you can't hide from your habits anymore. You finally see exactly where the money is going, and just having that knowledge is a total game changer.
The second thing is, this whole process forces you to line up your spending with what you really want out of life. You're not just trying to fit your life into some generic formula. You're the one making the call, saying, you know what, this month paying off my student loan is more important than that thing I thought I wanted. You're funding your life, your goals.
And really, that's what it all comes down to. This is an act of taking back control. You stop asking, where did my money go? And you start telling it where to go. You go from being a passenger to being the one in the driver's seat.
So I'll leave you with a question. Whether it's building that emergency fund, finally tackling that credit card debt, or saving for something big, what's the very first job you're going to give your money?